All right, let's bring in my guest, who himself is a politician. He was a governorship candidate of the ADC in the last governorship election. And he's a member of the House of Representatives. He chairs the Committee on Customs. He joins me from our Abuja studios. Honorable Leke Abejide. Honorable, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me, Jeffrey. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
We're going to talk about 2 or 3 issues. We're talking politics. We're going to also focus a lot on your committee and what it's doing. But since we just spoke about politics, let's start from there. We do not know where Senator David Mark is going to, and other persons who may be resigning soon from either the PDP or other parties to join this coalition. Some are speculating ADC and all of that, and that's your party. What do you make of all of this movement that is happening? Because you yourself, I don't think I've heard you defect. I even saw that, I think the Commissioner of Information, I think in Kogi State, was asking you to join the APC. Yagba youths are saying, join the APC. What is going on with you?
Well, I don't think it's a new thing. It is already a public knowledge that Senator David Mark, former Senate President, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Amici, Erufai, all of them, they are already in my party. It's no longer a news. It's no longer a news. I'm sure by today, end of today, the announcement will be made. So that one is very clear. As for me, I'm seeing ADC, but my own coalition is coming very soon. And then you'll be invited.
So, are you saying categorically, can we say, are you saying that Honorable Leke Abejide is not defecting to the APC, despite the calls by Yagba youths and even the officials of government in your state that you're not going anywhere?
Well, I'm only waiting for President to come back. When President returns to the country, my own coalition will start. So by then, it will be clear to my constituents and the entire Kogi people where I am going to. You know, if you look at me, I was the leader of APC in 2014, 2015 on my side. So going to APC is not a new thing. It's a home I built. So when it is time, I will unveil my own coalition. So let us just be watching. In the next 2 weeks, everything will be clear. But as for those people you mentioned, they are already in ADC. I'm still in ADC as we speak, and I'm the national leader of the party. So I have not left. If I'm going to leave, everybody will be aware.
Okay, so let's leave the issue of politics. We're going to come back to that issue of politics for a moment. Let's talk about your committee. I know that there were issues about the issues around FOB charges at some point, cost of collection at some point. You're going to help us explain all of that. But where I'm going to with this, let's begin with the oversight responsibility you have over customs. I think they exceeded their target in the last fiscal year, and they are even telling them to even extend it to about 10 trillion in 2025, given the deficit we suffer in terms of our revenue shortfalls. But there are a couple of concerns that has been raised as to the role of custom in aggressively pursuing revenue that may be detrimental to trade on the flip side. What do you make of it?
Issue of FOB, free on board, you talk about the 7% cost of collection, and now you talk about revenue collection. There's about 3 things you just mentioned. You know, Nigeria Customs Service has been doing their best, but they were operating without law as at 2022. But in 2023, the law they were using up to 2022 was called SEMA, Custom and Excise Management Act of 1958, handed over to us by the colonial government. And in 2023, we were able to enact a new law, Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023, which was signed into law by the president. And that law is the only one that gives them legal backing to collect 4% free on board. The 7% cost of collection they were taking was an executive fiat, not backed by any act of parliament. It is not in any law. And even the CISS, that is 1% comprehensive info supervision scheme, that they were equally taking, though they are not taking all, they were taking part of it, it's equally not backed by any act of parliament. That one is a military head of state fiat. It was not even during the administration of political dispensation. It was during the military. I remember during the Antoniani under Abacha, they started that. And when we look at all this illegality, we say it shouldn't continue. Nigeria is a democratic state, so now you should follow your act. Use what your act asks you to do. Drop that 7% cost of collection that you are taking from government, and also drop that 1% CISS, then connect your 4% FOB, which I believe started yesterday. So any attempt not to do that, they are doing illegality. And these are the things the committee has been working upon, and we have been oversighting them very well. We discovered that MTEF gave them target of 6.5 trillion. And last year they made 6.1 trillion. So the argument is that there's supposed to be a quantum leap from the target of 2025 to either 10 trillion. And the custom argue that they have not been legally or officially informed of the 10 trillion, that it was just a verbal statement they made to them when they appeared before the Committee of Finance and Appropriation. So that was what happened. The unfortunate thing that happened was that the Custom Committee of both chambers were not present. If to say we were there, we would be able to advise appropriately. But I want to advise, going forward, any MTEP meeting, these two committees should be there. Because we are chairing the committee of a revenue agency. And this revenue agency is not only bringing little money, they are bringing trillions of money into the cover. When you take away NRS and you take away, in fact, after NRS, custom is next. Because NFPCL has not been bringing anything to the cover of the government for some years now. Except maybe they're just going to start this year. So anytime they're going to be such, as it is now in the House, we pass 6.5 trillion as their target. But in the Senate, they have not passed it. They are insisting that it is 10 trillion. I remember Senator Olamilekan, who is the appropriation chairman in the Senate, said he has the document that gave them 10 trillion, which we in the House, we don't have. So that's why we are going for harmonization. To be sure, if it is 10 trillion, then definitely the target will be reviewed upward to 10 trillion. This is what happened.
Yeah, well, I should be excited because I'm part of the federation, you are part of, we're all part of this federation. So if our federation is getting more revenue, it's a great thing. But there are consequences for this aggressive push, which is, I'm going to come back to that question. But I know you had mentioned the issue of the NNPCL. I think they are trying to sort that out because they were giving excuses or shortfalls to subsidy. Now there's no more subsidy. And brilliant work the new management is doing to be giving us at least a dashboard of their performance monthly. Every month we get to see in terms of just a general dashboard of what they are doing. And so whether it's 6 trillion or 10 trillion, it's about driving revenue. So let me start from the back. What happens is to the effect that because of this aggressive drive, people have said this is affecting trade, that customs is not necessarily just to be driving to collect revenue, it's supposed to be promoting trade. I'll give you an example. There was a car that was bought, I know of that car, was bought in 2023. No, 2020, 2020. That car was bought for about, let's say 2.5 million naira. One of these regular cars. Today, that car is going for as high as almost 10 million naira. The same kind, just about how many years. Of course, the exchange rate has played its role, but one of the biggest costs in bringing cars in is the duties you pay. And we haven't perfected this import substitution to say we are backward integrated. But Nigerians need this thing. So the cost is transferred to Nigerians. How does the committee intend to help drive revenue for the federation, but also not kill Nigerians in the process who are import dependent in certain aspects?
Okay, I don't know the type of car you are talking about. Since you say it's a regular car, maybe it will be like a Corolla. Am I right?
Yeah, by Corolla, yes.
So, you know, the policy comes from the Ministry of Finance, and they have what they call age limits on vehicles. That is, vehicle that is more than 10 years old, by law, is not supposed to come into the country, which I, as Chairman Customs, have advised that it is not proper, because if you look at our level of income, especially the masses, they cannot buy these new vehicles. We can take this age limit to 15 years. Even in abroad, we still see vehicles of 20 years moving on the road. So that the masses can buy this vehicle. The reason why that vehicle is expensive is this. Customs supposed to seize it when they came to the port, when the vehicles arrived at the port. But because of their human face, they will now apply the value of the vehicle that is just 10 years old to that vehicle that is 20 years old. You got my logic?
Yes.
So the value they will give to that vehicle will be equivalent of a vehicle of 10 years old, whereas the vehicle is 20 years old. So if they are going to work by the policy, that vehicle will be seized by them. But not to create problem, they now say, okay, because it's not in their system. Any vehicle more than 10 years ago, you can't find it in their system. System will not accept it. So they will now say, okay, you will pay the value of 10 years old vehicle, though your vehicle is 20 years old. So if the policy is to reverse, which I'm in support to be reversed to like 15 years minimum, you will see that vehicle you say they are buying like 8 or 10 million will not be more than 5 or 4 million. Because definitely they will not be able to apply correct value of that vehicles and collect duty based on that. And that will even encourage people to patronize our ports. More of these vehicles will come into the country. Transportation will become cheaper. But some of these policies, I don't know, though it is not from this government. It has been there before this government came in. So my advice now, in the next Finance Act, or what is it called, before next budget, we should try and reverse this thing. Take it to 15 years. I suggested it to Chairman Finance, Honorable James Abejide. That should be the way to go, so that the masses can get these vehicles cheaper. Transporters can also get these vehicles cheaper. The cost of transportation will also come down.
Yeah, Honorable,
this is what is responsible. It's not custom. Custom, their own is just to implement whatever policy given to them. They are only implementers. They cannot make any policy for themselves.
Honorable, I like the way you're going about it, and I'm going to hold you responsible on behalf of Nigerians to talk to your colleagues to see what can be done, because the GDP per capita of the average Nigerian mathematically is less than $1,000. And so how many people can really afford a base? In fact, Keke Marua now, tricycle as it is called in English, is somehow going as high as 2 million, almost 3 million naira. That was something that was 300,000 before.
3 million.
So it's how many people can really afford this thing? So I think we should be realistic, and we're going to hold you on to that. And I want to praise you in advance for you to follow through.
Thank you.
So that a lot of Nigerians...
I've been working on it, and I'm going to work on it and get it with the support of the Chairman Finance in the House and in the Senate. We will get it done.
All right, Honorable, as we begin to wind down, we're going to go back to politics. But before we get wrapped, now you've talked about this issue of whether it's cost of collection, FOB. How do you want to ensure that this is properly implemented and they follow through, and others to work your committee is doing that we may not be aware of?
Okay. We have given them ultimatum that ended 30th June for them to erase from the dashboard of duty 1% CISS, and then connect their 4% FOB. I can know, because there is no part that comes out a day that I don't see. So it's from the part that is pre-arrival assessment report that I will know whether they're implementing it or not, which I'm checking on a daily basis. Today now I'm going to check the part they issued yesterday. If it doesn't carry it, then we will take them up from there. Then they have questions to answer. Because we invited Minister of Finance last week, Wednesday. He came on this issue. He came. Unfortunately, the custom did not come on time. And the minister was to attend every meeting in the villa. So we allowed him to go. So we have rescheduled that meeting now for next week, Tuesday, for the Minister of Finance to appear, together with the Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service to appear before us. So we are going to resolve all this, and we make sure the 4% is collected and they drop the 7% cost of collection and 1% CISS also be taken away from the dashboard of custom duty calculation. So we were on it. We are not going to rest until it's achieved.
Yeah, we're holding
cost in Nigeria.
We're holding you for that. That's the reason why we're oversighting you for helping us to oversight the customs. So this is public oversight for you to oversight properly, so that wherever the liability is coming from, so that the liabilities will be passed on appropriately and it's not going to hamper Nigerians so deeply. So as we begin to wind down, let's talk a bit of politics. Let's talk about your ambition. I don't know, last time you ran for office, governorship candidate of the ADC, you haven't left the ADC, at least for one of the very first times. At least I have read everywhere, people are now calling you to join. This is now my people. You know, politicians always come and say, my people are calling. But I've seen evidence that your people are calling you. Are you going to run again for office of governor of your state?
You see, ADC, I'm the only elected representative all over the country today. Though I brought somebody came with me to the House of Reps, that person has come to APC. And I want to believe that I will still remain in the National Assembly for now, because the governor of the state, for the first time, we have somebody who brought everybody together, irrespective of party affiliations. The man is so humble, so respected. In fact, he doesn't even behave like a governor. He has won the heart of many in the state. So for me to contest against him, no. But after him, God help me, if life is there, it's actually supposed to come to West. We will struggle for the seat at that time. God knows tomorrow, and God gives power to whoever he wishes. This I believe. So for my people, very soon I'm going to give them answer. I have seen so many calls that tries to come to the party that I built up, and I'm waiting for my leader to return to the country. When he comes, whatever decision he takes, I abide by it.
So are you saying, in essence, you have very glowing words for the governor, Usman Ododo. Are you saying that Yaya Bello divided the state across political lines?
Actually, I told Yaya Bello, the former governor, that it's as if he went to heaven to pray God to give him somebody. And God gave him Ododo. Because me and the former governor, we didn't relate for 8 years. He's my very good friend. In fact, as a matter of fact, I was in the forefront of his primary that made him to come second. We only had differences when after winning the election. Then I was in APC, and then they took it away from us. But we have settled our differences. Me and the former governor today now, we are best of friends. We have been friends even before he became governor. It was only during his reign that we didn't come close. But today, me and him, we are 5 and 6. We talk, we discuss politics of the state. And all our differences is all over. Because what separated us that time is no longer there. So it's not that he divided the state. It was because the way he came that time, there was agitation that power was supposed to come to Kogi West. that Onefaleke was supposed to be the governor then. So that was what happened, and that all has been put behind us, and everybody's now working together. In fact, very soon, Kogi may become one party state. I'm seeing it like that.
Okay, you're throwing so many things in the air. I'm not going to hold you on to it. But at the end of the day, it means that in 2031, direction should be shifted towards Okun people, because Igbira people and Igala people, they've had their time. Okun has never ruled the state. So perhaps
by the grace of God, it's going to be our turn.
Okay.
By the grace of God, Okun man will become governor in 2031.
All right. Honorable, when you finally make your decision, whether you're leading a coalition or whether you're defecting, whatever decision you make, we're going to invite you back and begin to talk about policy issues. But I think it's been a productive conversation. Thank you for coming on the program. I appreciate it. Honorable Leke Abejide is the Chairman House Committee on Customs. And I hold you on to it. Please help us to make sure that cars are cheaper for the ordinary Nigerians. We're holding you on to it.
And you will still call me back to thank me and thank.
I will do that with all my heart.